This is the Blaze Radio on demand.
In the next 19 seconds, you could sell your home. Okay, it's not going to sell your home, but you're going to take a big step toward getting it sold. Go to realestateagentsitrust.com and find an agent selected by my team, a professional who shares your values and speaks the truth. Sell your home fast and for the most money. Get moving at realestateagentsitrust.com.
Sexton.
When talking about the commander-in-chief abilities of these two candidates, it reminds me of one of the only funny lines in what is an otherwise pretty terrible movie, Euro Trip, which could have been great, but it was a bad movie. But there's a scene where they go to Bratislava, and it's like super depressing, former Soviet, Eastern European-looking situation. And this guy is like, "It's a good thing you were here in summertime. In the winter, it can be very depressing." So that's how I feel about talking to you about these candidates right now. It's a good thing that it's like beautiful here in New York, and I think across much of the country. Because if we were discussing the commander-in-chief abilities of these two, and it was cold and snowy outside, could be very depressing. Because Buck is not impressed. Buck is not impressed. It was not an impressive showing last night. And look, I was going to be on CNN last night, and they asked me beforehand what I thought, and I was like, look, they both have huge vulnerabilities here, and I give the edge on knowledge to Trump. I give the edge on judgment the knowledge to Hillary, and I give the edge on judgment and honesty, believe it or not, to Trump, at least when it comes to national security. But it's tight. I'm not saying it's a close call. And that's not good enough. You got to have people on TV now who are like, Hillary's amazing. No, Trump is amazing. Hillary's perfect. No, Trump is perfect. So I don't do either of those things. And I also would note to you that I could have played the game months ago of saying that I was never Trump, only to know that I would eventually, because as the election gets closer, it'll be harder and harder to hold that position, just decide to switch. I would note, team, that because of my undying respect and friendship and admiration with and for all of you, I have been honest with you all along and said, look, it stinks, but I think I'm going Trump over Hillary. And now you're seeing some other people are coming over to my side of the aisle on this one. Some who talked a very big game about how conservative they were. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm turning into a Transylvanian here. But so, where was I in this? Oh, yeah, Hillary last night. So I also want to give credit. By the way, that was why I wasn't on CNN last night, because I wasn't willing to take the one is awesome or the other is terrible position, which that's what they want on TV these days. And I wish maybe it would be better for me career-wise if I would just say whatever I knew would get me on TV, but I don't do that. I say what I think on TV, and I say what I think here, and I'm honest with you, and I'm honest with anybody who is asking me questions in a public forum all the time. Okay. Matt Lauer. I'm not a Matt Lauer fan. I've seen him do things that I find very annoying. He seems very enamored with himself, and I don't know the guy. I just mean professionally. He could be the nicest human being in the world, although I've heard that that's not true. But side note, but he could be a great guy. I have no idea. Did a pretty good job in this forum last night. Hillary got some real questions, and I think the biggest issue I have with it was that she got some real questions. Her answers were completely preposterous. This was probably the most tense moment in the whole thing. You had an Air Force veteran confronting Hillary Clinton about her handling of classified. Play clip 2.
As a naval flight officer, I held a top-secret, sensitive, compartmentalized information clearance, and that provided me access to materials and information highly sensitive to our warfighting capabilities. Had I communicated this information not following prescribed protocols, I would have been prosecuted and imprisoned. Secretary Clinton, how can you expect those, such as myself, who were and are entrusted with America's most sensitive information, to have any confidence in your leadership as president when you clearly corrupted our national security?
That's a real question. It's a real question from somebody who knows what he's talking about. And I have to say, I was not expecting them to let something like that slip through, because that's pretty much getting right to it. Here is how Clinton responded. Play clip 3.
First, as I said to Matt,
You know, and I know, classified material is designated. It is marked. There is a header so that there is no dispute at all that what is being communicated
is only
to or
sometimes
from
true.
someone who has that access is marked classified.
That is only sometimes
And
true.
what we have here is the use of an unclassified system by hundreds of people in our government to send information that was not marked. There were no headers. There was no statement, top secret, secret, or confidential.
She's lying there, by
I
the way.
communicated about classified material on a wholly separate system. I took it very seriously.
Yeah. What she's saying there is complete nonsense, by the way. All you think about it this way. Okay, under Hillary's rules of logic, she could read something that was compartmented and top secret. She could read it on her secure system. She could write it out on a piece of paper, word for word, and then she could make a Xerox of it and go hand it out to everybody in the nearest park. But there's no header on it. There's no marking on it, so it's not classified. No one believes this, right? I mean, nobody actually takes that seriously as a defense. That's what this woman is doing on national TV, saying it's marked classified. Yeah, it can be marked classified, but the information, not the marking, is actually what is classified. And it's not a question with these things that she's talking about of, you know, sometimes there can be stuff where you don't know. You know, you don't necessarily know if it's classified, and you might communicate that through unsecure channels. That's a good faith error that can happen. But it happened over 100 times with Hillary. And this is information. These are people who have active security clearances and are seeing classified day in and day out. So it's not like they kind of got it conflated in their heads, you know, after they had left government or they were confused about something. No, they just didn't care because they figured that Hillary was above the law. And what we see is they were right. We've got more. Stay with me.
The Buck Sexton Show on the Blaze Radio Network.
Hey team, it's Buck. Have you tried a Casper mattress yet? They are incredible. They're obsessively engineered, and they come at a shockingly fair price for a mattress that brings together technology and comfort to also be a great value is just too much for any of you to pass up. It combines springy latex and supportive memory foams to create an award-winning sleep surface with just the right sink and the perfect bounce. Time magazine named it one of the best inventions of 2015. It is an award-winning mattress that absolutely will not disappoint. Try Casper for 100 nights risk-free in your own home. If you don't love it, they'll pick it up and refund you everything. Free shipping and returns to the U.S. and Canada. And for listeners of this show, you can get a special $50 toward any mattress by going to Casper.com/Buck, Casper.com/Buck, and using Buck as the code.